Hey, what's up, listeners? Just a reminder to check the description for any information mentioned in the episode. Also, contact the crew on Twitter at What's the Remedy, on IG at What's the Remedy Podcast, or email us at What's the Remedy Podcast at gmail.com with any questions, comments, concerns, or topics. And don't forget to give us 5 stars and leave a review on iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube. Now let's get this show started.
Coming early and your girl is the latest, and she's saying that she's down, but the crib always vacant, and you do $1 worth, but it's pennies that you making, and you trying to be the greatest. You gotta get creative when you from the side of town where the kids hardly make it, and you try to ease your mind, but the pigs always hating, and your freedom's on the line, and it's years that you facing, and you trying to be the greatest.
All right, what's up? Welcome back. This is What's the Remedy? It's your boy Dr.J.
B-Mo.
Alright, and this is your weekly conversation over mental health, toxic masculinity, and all kinds of other things that plague society. This is What's the Remedy podcast. What's going down?
Chilling. Ashley Ray is in Atlanta, living her best life.
As usual.
You know what I'm saying? She was in, Denver last weekend?
Yeah. I mean, I can't be too mad at her because I just came back from a cruise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Ashley be traveling, man.
Yeah, she doing her thing. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? I hope she having a good time. I seen some pictures of her going to, the MLK thing.
Like the house and
the house and the whole exhibit with a museum.
Yeah, so he got a couple of different museums. I really like that. I guess we'll talk to her about it when she gets back. But I like the Civil Rights Museum and stuff. Because last time I was in Atlanta, that's what I went to. It's pretty nice right there by the Coca-Cola Museum.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like that stuff too. But anywho, how's your weekend? I mean, because it's been about 2 weeks since we've been here, so.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? By the time when this comes out, whatever, I would have done my second 5K of the year.
Did.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully try to do one more, probably Thanksgiving, a turkey trot.
Yeah.
So that's on deck. Phone's missing right now in action. So, you know what I'm saying? They tell you how we slaves to technology. That is really true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll be getting that back around about 5.
Yeah, because I without my phone, I don't know what I would do. Because I was thinking about it the other day because one of the apps on my phone wasn't working. Like the phone app on the phone wasn't working. Like it wouldn't load up. So I can only make phone calls if I went through the text message app and found somebody's number. So I kept trying to open the phone thing and I was like, dog, I don't even have a landline. So if my phone really ain't working,
and that's my thing. That's my thing right now. I have the bundle with Xfinity, whatever.
Yeah.
So I have a phone line in this place, but I have no phone.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked.
See, and I had that bundle before, and the other problem I had with the bundle was, so the landline on that bundle isn't even really a landline. It's a line that comes off of your Wi-Fi router.
Yeah.
So, one time the Wi-Fi went out, and so I didn't have, and I guess my phone was dead or something happened with my phone. And so, I couldn't even use my landline because the Wi-Fi was out.
Yeah.
And the landline went through the Wi-Fi. So, it's there's no real landlines no more. I just want a regular-ass landline.
Yeah. Like I say, going through this situation, I'm about to probably buy a cheap-ass, go down to store and buy a cheap-ass landline phone.
Yeah.
Just to have.
Yeah, because I had a little cordless phone, and it just goes to your router or whatever. But, yeah, no, I understand. Be slaves to this technology and waking up in the morning and checking my phone all the time.
Yeah.
Shit, my phone about to die right now. I didn't put it on the charger last night.
Yeah, like I said, I had to find an old phone just to contact people. I was like, I'm really fucked out here in these streets.
Shit, that's the other thing is I ain't even got no old phone. I've had this iPhone for going on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know if I have an old phone anywhere that if this phone ever went down, I'm just fucked because I ain't got nothing.
Yeah. So that's what we have to do something about that. Being slaves to Skynet is real.
Yeah.
And when they start their computers start revolting against our ass.
Hey, speaking of, and this is for future reference, but I seen an article yesterday that was about Houston opening a sex robot brothel.
I seen that.
Because when you mentioned Skynet, that's what I thought of. I was like, damn, robots gonna take over for real. You gonna have to be having sex with robots.
No, I'm saying ain't gotta worry. Hey, you never worry about no diseases.
No.
You don't get nobody pregnant.
They keep them hoes cleaned out for you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I think it said it was $120 an hour, so I could never afford it. But if I could, then now you have an option. Now you
it's gonna be people behind it.
Oh yeah, oh shit. I mean, they said the reason that they opened it is because they had such a successful one. I forget where they said it was. I think it was Denver or somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a sex robot brothel somewhere else that was successful, and so they're like, "Well, we're gonna open one in Houston now." So.
Yeah.
for anybody out there looking for, some sex with a robot.
That has so many mental health issue possibilities to that.
Right.
Because like, are you going there because you can't be with a regular woman? Or are you going there because the dog not going to tell you no?
Right. Like, and I would have to... Okay, so I watched Westworld, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody watches Westworld, but Westworld is like a place where like people can go and they basically interact with these artificial intelligence robots, and you pay a whole bunch of money and you can do whatever you want to them. So they're able to kill them, rape them, all that kind of stuff, and then they just reset the robots and put them back out for the next guest or whatever. And so one of the things that it turns out, it's kind of a spoiler for anybody that's actually watching it, but one of the things they do in Westworld is that they take the data of the guests that do all this stuff to these robots to kind of get an idea of the kind of person that they are. So if you think about, like you were saying about the sex robots, you're able to do whatever you want to them.
Yeah.
Think about like people that go in there and they are like rapists.
Yeah.
And they just want to be able to rape without consequence.
Yeah.
I think that should be like studied too. So we need to know like what are these people doing in these places with these robots, because chances are if they're doing them to the robots, there's a slight possibility you need to keep an eye on them in the real world.
Well, I would keep an eye on them in the real world. Like, let's say they haven't did anything to anybody, like in reality.
Right.
But then you go into the brothel and you slapping up this robot and you raping this robot with her, right?
Yeah.
This robot not telling you no. You might have like, okay, yeah, I met this nice girl here, whatever. Now you interacting with her like you dealing with the damn robot.
Right. And like the switch doesn't flip for you to where you like, oh wait, no, this is a real person. I can't do all the things that I did to the robot to this person.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's so many mental health issues that could be addressed there because, but like I said, it could be studied there. So it could be a benefit to having robots. Like we could study like how people react to those things and be like, okay, with this person, definitely needs to see somebody or they need some medication or something like that.
Well, because like I said, we live in America and people are all about money.
Yeah.
So where does it end? You think about people who have sex with robots and shit, and people gonna be like, I want to do this to the robot, this and that, when they can pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Who's else to stop it? Be like, oh yeah, okay, this robot looks a little bit underage.
Yeah. And the thing is, like you said, if you got enough money, somebody gonna make it for you.
Yeah.
Because then, like, technically, you not having sex with an underage person. You having sex with a robot that looks like they're underage.
Yeah.
But like I said, at the same time, that's something I would have to keep an eye on, man. If somebody is requesting that kind of stuff, you got to be like, hey, man, let's put them on a list.
Yeah. You heard this robot, your name go on the list, right? Yeah.
You go on the list. You can't go near no schools, no daycares, nothing like that. Yeah. Like you gotta. You on the list of potential. You're not a pedophile, but you a potential.
Yeah. Like I say, it helps those people get, I guess, they urges out with non-real people. Yeah. I'm not saying that they won't do it, but you can't 100% say that. Cause that's going to be the argument. They'll be like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? People can take their urges and stuff out on these robots, whatever, and not have to worry about the consequences with people. Yeah. But, like I said, that's an argument for them, but then the argument against is, hey, I'm doing this shit to the robot, and I see this person that I want that reminds me of my damn robot, and I'm gonna get that. Yeah.
And let some like alcohol or something get tossed in the mix, and now you lost track of the fact that you're not dealing with a robot no more. And
you can break the robot, and you fuck around and break a person, and you like, oh shit.
They just have to put limitations on it. Like I said, the whole robot thing is a slippery slope.
And the robot gonna be learning, and the next thing you know, the robot gonna say no, like if y'all know it's raining over here. Yeah, it's a thunderstorm. But like the robot gonna be gonna bust out and say no, like Caesar. Yeah. Planet X and shit. No. we was in the movie theaters when we go see that, and Caesar said no, and somebody said, oh shit.
Nigga, man.
I was like, he said what everybody thought. I was like, oh shit, it's finna get real.
Oh yeah.
Fucking monkey talking.
Yep. But yeah, we way off subject. But like,
they be like,
oh shit, that's a fucking thunder. Yeah. But anyway, so I guess basically, since we haven't been here for like 2 weeks, basically, because I be busy with football all the time, and I went on a cruise last weekend, which was pretty lit. I can't ever complain about cruises because like even when things don't go the way they're supposed to, when you're on a cruise and you got a whole bunch of alcohol, you really can't go wrong. Yeah. But I mean, like, so besides the alcohol, we got to go on like an ATV adventure. And this is probably like my third time riding ATVs. I did like twice in Cabo before, and then I did it this past weekend in Cozumel. But I really like ATVs. But we went to this cave. So this is probably the highlight of it. We went to a cave.
But see, I meant to ask you about that. I seen y'all went to the cave on the ATVs, right? And you did this in Cozumel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we did the ATVs. Ain't taking to no damn cave.
And we went to this.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
The thing is, we went to like this. I guess it was called Wild Tours. That's the company. If anybody goes to Cozumel, you can look them up. They're called Wild Tours. Yeah. But Wild Tours takes you and like you had to walk to this place. Like, it wasn't like when you got off the cruise ship and shit. Like, there's all these like regular places, and then there's like people standing outside trying to get you to go to these different excursions and shit. But we had booked this thing online beforehand, and so like when they sent the email was like, okay, walk past everything and go into like this shopping center in the town.
Oh, that's yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how we felt. So I'm walking into the town, and first of all, you got to go through the gauntlet. Of hustlers on the street. Yeah. Hey, you want ATVs? We got ATVs. We got ATVs. Nah, man, we already got one. Oh, did you already make the reservation? Yes, we already made a reservation. We gonna keep it moving. So we walking through this gauntlet of people trying to sell us shit, trying to get us to get on their dune buggies, get on their mopeds, and all kind of shit like that. So we finally get outside of all of that. Like, we get to the shopping center, it's like nobody over there but like the people that we're supposed to meet with. I mean, I guess it's because it was morning time, but like as we meet with the people, like we see these Jeeps riding by. And like fucking Narcos. Like, you ever see them like there where they had the where they ride by in the Jeep and the back of the Jeep is open and they all standing there with machine guns? Yeah. It was like 3 of those drove by and like heavily armed and like people on the corner walking around with big ass M16s and shit. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck are we doing over here? And so like we had to wait there for that. And so like I said, maybe that's why we got to do more shit, because it was like off the beaten path or whatever. But yeah, so we ended up going into a cave. We had to ride the ATVs through a cave, and then we went into a cave where we like actually jumped into this sulfur smelling water.
Oh hell, all y'all contaminated and shit.
We gonna die. But no, they kept telling us how clean the water was and shit. Like the sulfur was just a smell from the cave and from all the bats. Cause like when you get in the water, like you look up and the top of the cave looks black. But it's like moving. Yeah. And so it's like all bats. Yeah. And they're like, don't worry about those. They're fruit bats. I'm like, shit. Like my sister finally looked up and seen all them bats. She's like, oh no. She got out of there. But yeah, no, it was fun. Like I never complained about a cruise. So if anybody has a chance to go on a cruise, I always go. Because I never had a bad time on a cruise. Like it's always gonna be good. You're always gonna have alcohol. Get the drink pass if you get a chance, because you pay $50 a day and you get 15 drinks per day. So, like, after you have 5 drinks, that $50 pays for itself.
With Carnival, the one thing I loved the most was the burger place.
Oh, man.
That shit, though.
Jesus. Dog, Guy's Hamburgers is the best damn burgers you ever have, dog. And the fact that you would just be adding your own toppings and everything, too. Yes. Oh, man, my burgers were slamming every time.
What?
I couldn't. Like, the last day, we had to go to, like, dinner and stuff. Like, we had another dinner for my sister or whatever. Yeah. But I was like, dog, I don't care. I'm getting a burger before dinner. Because the burger place closes at 6. We weren't going to dinner until 8 anyway. So I was like, I'm going to get me a burger real quick.
Yeah. Give me a burger. You know what I'm saying? I was like, shit, I'm going to take this elevator and go back to the room and shit.
Oh, yeah. Dog, that fucked me up one time, though, because I got me a double meat one. Yeah. Took it back to the room. I went straight to sleep. Slept for like 3 hours, dog. Went straight to sleep for 3 hours, dog.
Guy's Burgers is the best fucking burgers I've ever had.
Guy's Burgers is, so if you ever get on a Carnival cruise, you gonna live at Guy's Burgers, because that shit is the truth. That shit is the truth. All right, we're going to move right along because we're about 15 minutes in already. All right, so. The Check Yourself segment for today, we basically want to talk about just some things I saw a couple different places, just from interactions with people and things on TV, all this kind of stuff. One of the things that a lot of people kind of suffer from is just unchecked trauma. And by unchecked trauma, I mean like things that people go through and they never actually address, whether it be like a generational thing like slavery and oppression or the Holocaust, or it's something like more specific to like a family where like somebody was molested when they were younger, didn't tell anybody, and never really dealt with it, but you don't really know anything about it until they're like parenting somebody, and like some of the things that they do with their children kind of shows that they probably didn't have the best life growing up. So I'll tell you one of the things that I saw that I heard, because I was listening to a podcast. I believe the podcast was The Nod, and it was talking about a girl, and part of what she went through is like a topic for another day. But one of the things that she did was that she was dealing with death, she was dealing with grief, and she was creating a sim of her grandmother, which in itself, like I said, that's a whole other topic.
It sounds, like I say, when you first explained this to me, it's like I say, I was like, oh, like this, that's really sad. Like it hits you emotional.
Yeah, it's real
like,
touching.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's touching at first. And like I said, it's a subject for another day, but to give you the gist of it, this young lady, she was raised by her grandmother, and her grandmother died when she was 15, but she was an avid Sims player. For those of you that don't know what The Sims is, it's like a computer game. Oh, shit. I dropped something. Oh, no, that was the headphones.
Okay.
Anyway, the Sims is like a computer game where you can control people. Like, you get to create your own little world, and, you live in this world. You get to breathe and eat and have sex, all kinds of shit in The Sims. Mm-hmm. So, like, she was an avid Sims player when her grandmother died, so she made a Sim of her grandmother, to help her cope. It gets deeper. It's kind of a, like I said, that one is a subject within itself. But what I wanted to address in that story was at the beginning of the story, when she was telling it, she was talking about how her mother was a teacher, and her mother was like a real, I guess, dedicated teacher. Mm-hmm. And so, like, she said her mother would like be so into her kids at school that she assumed that that's why she never wanted to take care of her when she came home. Mm. And so since she would always be teaching and working, she didn't really want to deal with her daughter as much. And so she just passed her off to her grandmother. As she was telling that story, like, you could tell how pissed she really was at her mother for, like, leaving her.
Abandonment issues.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, because, like, what ended up happening from there is that she got super attached to her grandmother, because her grandmother was the only person that was going to be there for her. Mm-hmm. So the trauma that she never actually addressed was her mother. And with her not addressing the trauma with her mother, like, I think it made her get attached to her grandmother, and it causes kind of an attachment disorder. And so I was discussing this with someone else, that there's a disorder called attachment disorder, and then there's adjustment disorders. Mm-hmm. And I think she kind of had like some shit that could have been dealt with on both of those, because she was getting way too attached to her grandmother, but she also wasn't adjusting to her new environment. And so, like, I guess my question is, do you feel like that all trauma, okay, no, that's a bad way to word that question. Do you feel like there are things that you can avoid talking about and still live a normal life afterwards?
Because you want to say yes, but then there's always going to be something that's going to trigger those memories.
Right. Yeah.
It's like that. So it's kind of like you have to, even if you don't want to face something, it's going to face you eventually. Yeah. Because something in your life, whatever, is just going to pop up. It's going to be out the blue. And you'll be like, it's gonna remind you whatever you keeping locked away. Yeah, yeah. So you're gonna have to face it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what the gist of what I'm trying to say is that, like, I don't know why people avoid things, and I guess it's just us, and I say us like because I know as a Black community we do it a lot. Yeah, where like something will happen, and rather than address that something, we brush it off as something else. And we don't realize how bad it hurts us later on. So like I said, our first example is just the fact that there was this traumatic event, and sometimes, and one of the other things that I learned just from kind of researching this stuff is that sometimes people don't realize what they've gone through is trauma. Mm-hmm. So like okay, so I was listening to someone talk about Tiffany Haddish's book.
Okay.
You read Tiffany Haddish's book?
I've
heard of it?
Well, I've heard of it. I read like little excerpts from it.
Oh, okay. Well, supposedly, like you know Tiffany Haddish's story at all. Like she,
with the foster home and
like she
being raped with like a prom or something like that, a homecoming.
Yeah, apparently like she was molested a lot.
Yeah,
and then raped at homecoming or prom or something like that. But anyway, so like they were describing one of the parts in her book where she talks about she was in a foster home and she was younger, and like the older man in the foster home, I think it was like her foster mother's father or grandfather or something. He was like an older man. And he kept telling her when she was young that, you know, if she let him suck on her titties, they would get bigger.
Okay.
And so, like, she was young and she didn't think anything was wrong with it.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay. And, you know, she would do it all the time, whatever, until she was out of that foster home. It wasn't until she got older that she was telling that story to somebody else. And they were like, girl, you were getting, like, sexually abused and molested. And so, like, she never really realized that that's what that was until somebody told her. Yeah. So I think that's why like it's important that we don't sweep everything under the rug, because a lot of times people don't realize what trauma they have really experienced. Like I guess a question for you would be, what are some traumatic things or things that people you know talk about that most people wouldn't consider traumatic, but we really should talk about as being traumatic?
Yeah, we kind of like just talk on different people.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I gotta say, people. I think people have normalized so many stuff that's traumatic. Yeah. Like somebody like your parents, your dad cheating on your mom, stuff like that. And people like, you know, well, that's what just men do.
Yeah.
Type thing and stuff like that. I think those kind of situations that come make it like, no, that's not necessarily right. It's not how it's supposed to go.
And I think we've actually talked about some stuff on here before that like a lot of people have normalized that even though it's been normalized, it's really traumatic to people. Like, for example, we had an episode where we talked about cussing kids out. Yeah. When we talked about like how we wouldn't want no teacher to cuss our kids out, but it's okay if we cuss our kids out at home, but it's really not. But it's been so like normalized now that, you know, cussing kids out is like normal. And so people are like, oh, that's not a big deal. You know, cussing around kids, cussing kids like that. They'll deal with it. I dealt with it. And then that within itself kind of tells you that that's an event that probably isn't the best. If you have to justify something by saying, I mean, it got done to me, so I know they can deal with it too, it's probably something that's going to be probably traumatic.
Like I talked to somebody the other day that was talking about issues with their siblings. Like, you know what I'm saying, they're the oldest and stuff like that, and just talking about how everybody else in the family kind of like it's nothing to them, whatever case may be, but she was pissed because how she didn't get the positive reinforcement. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, in the family ever. She felt like she never got that. So it made her feel like she was a fuck up. Or, you know what I'm saying, a disappointment. Because they never outwardly said that, hey, I'm really proud of what you're doing, you know, this and that. They always said it to the other ones. Whatever. And I guess I can just see some families do that, now without even thinking about it. Just do some stuff like that, and you're traumatically like setting somebody off like a time bomb. Right. Cause they kind of like, you know, I never get that, whatever. I just wish they just tell me that I'm just the bad one or whatever the case may be. And it's like, it's not even like that if you never really think that this is a traumatic issue to you.
Right. And I think that this opens up the conversation that there needs to be more conversation. Yeah. Like if I'm in a family where like I feel like I'm getting picked on or whatever, but I never come out and say, you know, oh, y'all do this, and that to me, and I'm not sure what it's, you know, it's having an effect on me or whatever, then nobody's really going to ever know that there's a problem. Yeah. And so it goes back to the fact that just, we got to have more communication, like even within us.
Yeah, like I said, you talking about like with the kid thing or whatever, that's like the cursing thing. That's like with the kid things too, like as far as getting whoopings, whatever. Everybody got whoopings, whatever. But then somebody be like, yeah, I got whooped with my mom used to hit me if I said upside my head with a pan. Right. And shit like that. You're like, yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, that's not normal.
That's not normal. Like, no.
But and the thing is,
they just locked me in the closet in the dark for like 4 hours upon a time. You're like, no, that's not
Yeah, and but if you've never been, or if you've never talked to anybody outside of that environment, then you won't realize that it's not normal.
Yeah,
and so like, and I've had this discussion too before, and this is like a whole nother topic, but just the word normal, because the word normal now is almost like a bad thing.
Yeah,
you can't really say normal anymore because they'd be like, okay, well, what's normal? That's normal to you, but that's not normal to everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, I guess
that's the white man's normal. The white man should be, what the fuck? Like
I want to say that normal to me is societally. I don't even know what the word is, but something that's acceptable by society, like as a whole, that everybody could look at and agree that, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. So like you said, getting hit in the head with a pan, I think everybody can agree, okay, there's something wrong with that, because you can cause some serious physical damage by doing that. So like, I think everybody would agree that that's a problem. But then like, if you talk about getting locked in a room and you talk to other people that have all been locked in rooms too, then that's normal to y'all.
Yeah.
But like, you talk to people that understand the psychological effects that they have on people, you're like, okay, well, I mean, that's really not normal and it's really not good. So it's more or less about expanding your circle. Maybe not your circle, but at least talking to somebody like a therapist.
Expanding your environment.
Yeah, environment. Yeah. Expand your environment. Expand the people that you talk to.
Yeah.
Because if you're always just telling the people that are involved, then it's always going to seem like it's cool. Like you said, if you're talking about getting beat with pans, we talking about sexual abuse. Yeah. Like if a girl got abused by her grandfather, and she talks to her mother about it, who got abused by her grandfather, and then they talk to the grandmother about it, and she was abused by her uncle, and so like, it's a long-standing thing of abuse, and we understand there's something wrong, but we all went through it. So
we all went through it. We all keep it to the family.
Right. It's fine. It's a rite of passage for this family. But if that same group of people talk to somebody outside or talk to a therapist, they'll be like, okay, no, that's wrong. Somebody needs to step up and be like, hey, let's get some help for our people and our family, because obviously this is a problem.
Yeah.
Not only like, not just for the women, it's a problem for them because they go through it, but it's a problem for the men. Because the men in that family need help. Some of them need to be locked up.
Yeah.
Others of them, if they haven't committed anything, they need help to make sure that they understand what the issues are with that. And because that comes with conversation. We have to be able to have that conversation, just amongst men, amongst women, amongst families. But, like I said, all of that unchecked trauma thing is basically comes down to just having conversations, making sure we understand that we got to talk about the things that are troubling us, even if we don't think that they're troubling us, even if we think they're normal. We just need to have open conversations about everything, which is why I think that like Twitter, Facebook, and I know a lot of people don't like the fact that everybody's so open now, but I like it because I like the fact that people are actually talking about things so that we can understand, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that feels this way, or we all feel this way and it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to correct those wrongs, and nobody's going to correct them if they ain't out in the open. Which is, good for, like, racists.
Yeah.
Because I know on Facebook, there's plenty of racists.
Boys are out here.
Yeah.
And openly out here now.
Yeah, they out here all the way. And the thing is, most of them have, I'm not going to say they have a valid reason, but there's a point to their racism. Like they're racist because their mother taught them this.
Yeah.
So they like I said, they've never been outside that circle. So when they get to talking about it on Facebook or something, and like other people, friends and stuff that didn't know that they thought that way, get to hear it, and they're like, oh wait, whoa, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Now we know. Oh, okay. Well, that's what my mama taught me. So your mama was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff needs to be checked, and the only way it's going to get checked is through conversation.
True.
So, I mean, that's pretty much all I want to say about that. Just make sure you talk to people. Definitely try to talk to a therapist, no matter what went on in your childhood or even in your adult life. Because some people need to deal with things in their adult life that they just been sweeping under the rug. You just need to talk to somebody in order to get that worked out.
Oh, yeah.
But moving right along, to the Lying About segment.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
So yesterday, a few things happened yesterday. Like most of the stuff that I'm talking about is just from yesterday. But yesterday there was it wasn't even an announcement about this, the hip hop curator, yeah. The hip hop curator at the National Museum of African American History in Washington, D.C. So they have a hip hop exhibit there. And supposedly there's this white woman named Timothy Ann Burnside. And first of all, I ain't never heard no woman named Timothy. So that struck me as strange. But so Timothy Ann Burnside is the curator, one of the head curators. I'm sure she's not the only one.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's working with a team.
Yeah.
But since she's like the main curator, like it became a big topic of conversation. So just to give you some background, so like on Twitter there was a guy named DJ I forget his name up. DJ Chubby something. Yeah, Chubby Swag or something like
DJ
that.
Chub, whatever.
Yeah, DJ Chubby Swag.
I like CB.
Yeah.
I like CB, that's DJ Chub.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In Dallas.
This DJ Chub was like, he's like, how y'all got a white, like, who let this happen that there was a white curator for the hip hop event? I mean, for the hip hop exhibit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a valid question. Hip hop is well known to be a black art form.
Yeah.
And so, like, you would think that there's some black person that was qualified to do that.
I got a problem with that, too, though.
What?
I got a problem with the fact that, like, we're just so quick to throw some race shit on something. Like you're a curator or whatever. Like, you just in charge to make sure everything runs straight, whatever. Doesn't mean you making all the decisions and stuff like that, whatever the case may be. But we quick to be like, hey, what the fuck she doing with the hip-hop thing? That makes no sense. But something that really fucking affects us, we be like, we don't give a shit.
Right. And yeah, I mean, I really think it's kind of small potatoes, but yeah, you know, I understand his question, and I think
I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, I think that's where the mix-up was, even on Twitter, because I don't think anybody, and that's what a lot of people were saying on Twitter, was that I don't think anybody really questions her ability.
Yeah.
Because I mean, supposedly, like she does like a whole nother exhibit she has a few exhibits in the African American Museum. And nobody has questioned those exhibits because everybody's been like, oh, the museum is so great. Yeah. And nobody realized that she has been curating a lot of those exhibits.
Yeah, because my whole thing is this with her, like, you're in the African American Museum in the first fucking place. Right. Like, so for you to be, like I said, a couple of exhibits, whatever, you know what the fuck you probably doing.
Right. And like, that's what, I guess, people that were coming to her defense. Yeah. And the people that were coming to her defense were basically saying was that, you know, you can ask anybody in the industry, in hip-hop industry, she is a great hip-hop historian. Like, she knows her shit, so for her to even be curating this, it's warranted. Yeah. And so, but I think what ended up getting the mix-up came with people kind of down-talking his question. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't have a right to ask his question. Yeah. When in actuality, like, his question made sense. Like, I saw somebody put a thread up, I think it was yesterday, it might have been this morning, but they were basically saying that he has a right to ask this question because the girl that actually put the thread up was like, I know who Timothy Ann Burnside is. She's great. Like, she's overqualified to curate this exhibit. But she's like, the only reason I know who she is because I work in the museum. Yeah. She's like, if anybody's outside the museum and you see a white woman's face on something, I would question it too. Yeah. She's like, so although I will tell you that she is perfect for this position and she is doing exactly what she should do in this position, I have to also say I understand people that are shocked by it. Yeah. Because she's like, if I didn't know her personally, I would be shocked that this little white lady was doing hip hop in the museum as well. And I think that's what was lost in that whole exchange with old dude was that, you know, it wasn't really a question of her ability. Because, I mean, obviously she's good. She's been working in the museum for this long. Yeah. But it was more of a question of, I never seen this white woman before. Who this white woman?
Yeah. Like I said, he had a genuine question. but I say his genuine question brought all the assholes to the page and shit like that.
Oh, yeah. On both sides.
Yeah, on both sides. And it reminds me of Bamboozled. Yeah. On the part where Michael Rappaport was the boss, whatever, talking to Damon Wayans, and he was in his office. He had all the different athletes in his office, and he's like, "I'll give you $100 right now. You tell me one of these people on the picture."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, well, I know them." He said, "No, you don't fucking know, do you?"
Yeah.
And stuff. And that's what I feel like. We get into certain arguments of this kind of natures. Like they're like, "Well, what this white lady doing the hip hop shit?" You know what I'm saying? Where if y'all was to both go on some hip hop knowledge shit, run laps around you.
Right. She knows.
Like she knows whatever.
Yeah.
So. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have to be black to enjoy the culture.
Yeah, but and like I said, like you said, the argument brought out some assholes on both sides, and one of the arguments that I saw in there that I didn't really like was that some of the people that were in support of her did come off a little what's the old dude's name from Django?
Stevenish.
Was it Steven?
Yeah, to my Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, Steven. Yeah, they came off real Stevenish, like. Yeah. And they said like some shit that you would see on like Fox News comment section on Facebook. Like they were saying shit like, well, maybe there just weren't enough black people qualified to do it. Yeah, I was like, I mean, I understand y'all defending her because she qualified, but damn, dog, like y'all just gonna down talk black people like that, and these is black people saying it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, y'all just gonna talk down on black people like that?
Maybe you niggers should really support your own hip hop history.
You know what? Speaking of Bamboozled, there was a scene where Michael Rappaport's in it, and then, you know, Damon Wayans' character, Jada Pinkett, and then that white lady comes in.
Yeah.
And so she's supposed to be like their PR person.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, I have a PhD in African American Studies. And Damon Wayans is like, oh, so you fucked a Negro in college.
Yeah.
But then, like, she goes on to say, like, we need to, when they were in the writing room.
Yeah.
And they were like, how come there were no black writers in the writing room? And the white people in the writing room started responding, and they were saying things like, I mean, well, maybe they couldn't find any people that were qualified, or maybe they didn't see the openings for this.
Yeah.
And then David Wayans was like, well, maybe they couldn't put their crack pipes down long enough to apply. Like, that's how, like, people were coming up in the argument, was that, like, people were like, yeah, well, maybe the black people just didn't know about the opening, or they weren't qualified as she is. I understand that she's qualified, but don't start saying black people
just because she's credentialed and qualified to do the job, don't shit on other people.
Right. Just stand by your word and say this woman is legit.
Hey, she legit.
And that's all we need. All the other shit talking down on black people was too much.
But like you're saying, the counter argument to that, like you're saying, people be like, hey, you know what, she legit. Like, we co-sign what she doing, whatever. Why niggas always gotta co-sign some white person and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? The hoteps come in.
That's what I'm saying. You got assholes on both sides of the argument, but you don't want to be the asshole on either side. Like, don't be the asshole to be like, yeah, black folks ain't qualified, blah, blah. But then also don't be the one that's like, oh, y'all always trying to ride the white man coattail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be that nigga, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that nigga. But speaking of shit on Twitter yesterday, there was more like, this is a Twitter-esque conversation, not so grand a scale as National Museum shit, but some shit happened on Twitter where there was a white girl that was in Houston, actually. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what her Twitter handle was, but she's a thicker white lady, or white young lady. I guess she said she was like only over like 18, 20, something like that. Mm-hmm. But then like some dude on Twitter, he had gotten on Twitter because he has a bunch of followers, like 10,000 or some shit like that. And he had got on Twitter talking about, oh, well, you know, I be sleeping on hoes that y'all wish that y'all could fuck with and that kind of shit or whatever. So after he posted that, the girl gets on and responds and is like, well, you know, I woke you up or whatever. And so, so either way, like, the basis of this conversation is people really be lying on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Which is like the basis of this whole section that we created in this podcast, the line about saying, people really be getting on Twitter and lying. So he had got up on Twitter talking about how, you know, he be fucking all these hoes and, you know, he be going to sleep on hoes and he fuck blah, blah, blah. And this nigga gets called out on it or whatever. So, just to give you a general idea of the whole story, the girl say that dude came over, he had been begging her to come by, and he had begged, you know, come over there so he could beat or whatever, blah, blah, blah. He come over, he won't leave, he go to sleep. So finally she wake him up to kick him out, and she gives him this $100 futon that she just had in her, in her apartment or whatever, and he took it with him. Because one of the other stunts that he did on Twitter was that he was like, yeah, I got some free furniture out of it, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, nigga, that futon was like, well, she didn't say nigga. I'll give her credit. Yeah. I will give her credit because she did this whole rant and stuff without saying nigga one time. And she seemed like she could have in a couple of them segments. But she didn't say nigga one time, and I'm proud of that white girl. But she was like, that was just $100 futon or whatever. And so you got, some throwaway furniture or whatever. So either way, it was funny. And so just to lighten the mood a little bit, that was funny.
Yeah.
One of the other things I saw was that I don't know if y'all seen this trend. It started kind of on Twitter. Actually, it started with HaHa Davis. HaHa Davis has this trend where he goes, "Oh, you tripping." On his videos.
And actually, people have been doing that for like the past 4 years.
Yeah.
And like now it's trending. Everybody's doing it.
Right.
Because my cousin, and like so I'm saying, when I seen the fast start, I'm like, my cousin been doing this for like 4 years.
Shit, even the video, the HaHa Davis skit, he been doing that for at least 2. Yeah. So it's old.
Yeah, it's old. So, old. Because like my cousin talks about and got my mama doing it, whatever, talking about, oh no, she mad.
Yeah.
And stuff. And we've been doing that for like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. So just to see this stuff happen now, like, and everybody double everything, and I'm just like, oh, it just trips me out. It brings me back to our PV days.
Yeah.
When everything was, when we, saying y'all started you and Ty now with Texas.
We say Texas.
And then 2 years later, you seen at a PV presentation, they talk about, so the PV Nation, whatever like that. So it's Texas.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
About to get Sliz with Texas. We used to say that shit. This was like, oh shit, that was like 2005. We about to get Sliz with Texas. And then like everybody started having Texas at the end of everything.
Yeah.
But like, so even before that though, like you think about just the fact that people used to be like, hey, so this girl fat that's finna come in here, like you say, this girl finna come through, and she come through and she like big and waddling, you be like, oh, she fat.
Yeah.
Like we been saying it.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's a trend now, and like it's funny because when trends, like, because it trended on Twitter like a few months ago, and so like now it's on Facebook, and like by the time shit makes it to Facebook, the shit be so played out, and it like on Facebook now. I'm looking at it and I'm like, God damn.
They were like, it's so new.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, have y'all seen the new trend?
Have you heard of this?
Like they stopped doing it on Twitter like 2 months ago, so y'all can stop now too. But like it's just funny that how whenever trends from Twitter, or even like even the trending topics and stuff, like you'll see all the trending topics on Twitter, from Twitter on Facebook, and people then like screenshot them and put them in a series of pictures on Facebook. And it's funny to me because people be like, oh, this is so hilarious. But these be the same people to be like, I'll never get on Twitter. Like, you missing out.
Yeah, you missing out. Really you're like 4 months behind.
Yeah, like y'all catching the trends late, and then y'all miss some of them because it's funny shit on Twitter almost every day.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every day you're going to find some shit on Twitter that's funny.
Instant shit, funny shit.
Yeah, like it really warms my heart sometimes. Like, I be having like anxiety sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to go look at Twitter because I know something funny is going to be on there.
Yeah.
And I try to avoid, it's a lot of extra shit on Twitter too, but you have to try to avoid all of that and just look for the funny shit because there's always something funny on Twitter. So I just say that to say, stop doing that damn 2-word thing on Facebook because I'm tired of the shit.
I'm about to say, going back to kind of like talking about the black white thing and kind of bringing people down.
Yeah.
Like you heard the thing yesterday with the interview at the Breakfast Club with Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yeah, I didn't get to hear the interview, but I see people talking about it.
Yeah. Basically, Kevin Hart basically said on there, I got time today. And he went on Katt Williams.
That's what I heard.
And he basically, talking about everything that Katt Williams said, he was like, this is untrue. Because he's like, basically, he started off as like, Tiffany Haddish is my sister. And I'm the older brother. And my older sister kicked the ball over the fence. So I need to go get her ball back.
Yeah.
And that's how he was like, so I'm going to say, I'm going to let her be classy and just sit here. And I'm going to say everything. Because he was going off. He was like...
No, what did Katt Williams say? Because I keep hearing about the stuff, but I never found out what he said.
Basically, Katt Williams went on Kevin Hart. He said Kevin Hart, he was like how, based on some white man type shit, he was like, yeah, they make the leading man somebody they can kind of control kind of thing, or the weird, awkward black guy. Yeah. He's like, your Kevin Harts, your Gerard Carmichaels, Lil Rails, Hannibal Burris's. Yeah. He's like, these ain't no leading men. He said, these are ugly niggas.
Well.
and stuff like that. Then he's talking about Tiffany Haddish. He was like, I like Tiffany. and stuff like that. Tiffany's done a lot, but he was like, the position Tiffany's in, do she really deserve the shot that she was given? Because there's so many other female comics. He was like, tell me a Tiffany Haddish joke. And a lot of people like, can you tell me one?
No.
And stuff like, he's like, that's not to the. He was like, I'm not trying to degrade her or whatever, but he's like, the funniest thing she's done was the clip of me on that. He say on me with the school dance movie when I was in prison, and she came to see me with the little white baby.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. He was like, that's been seen over millions of times because of me and her in that scene.
Yeah.
Whatever. So what has she done? They was like, well, she did Girls Trip and like that. He was like, oh yeah, it's about with those other 3 exceptional black actresses.
Yeah.
And stuff. He was like, anybody could have played that role. He was like, that's somebody's sister, mama, auntie right now.
Yeah.
And everything. He was like, you basically just read a script.
I have to disagree with him there, but I see what he's saying though.
I see what he's saying. He wrong.
I see what he's saying. He wrong.
He wrong, but I see what he's saying. Like I see what he was trying to get at, whatever.
Yeah.
And basically, Kevin Hart went in and started going to I don't give a fuck him, because he mad because he fucked up his shot with drugs and shit like that. And Kevin Hart said some real shit, but it's kind of like both y'all on some fake shit at times.
Oh yeah.
Because for as much as Kevin Hart likes to say, I do this and I do that, there's a lot of shit you haven't done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then I give it to him. I give him his thing. He'll be like, if I haven't did something, let me know so I can address it.
Yeah.
And stuff. Because he called out Mike Epps too, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
He was like, you see the only 2 angry niggas on this comedian shit is Katt Williams. He said 2 people that fucked their shots up when they had a chance.
Yeah, I seen somebody say something about them 2 both getting their break on the same movie.
Yeah, Tiffany said that. She was like, they popped on the same movie.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And they both fucked their opportunities up with shit.
I mean, they ain't lying about that either.
No, they're not.
But I mean, at the same time, like I agree with some of what Katt Williams said, because I don't really fuck with Tiffany Haddish like that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I wouldn't knock her either, because she on that Kevin Hart shit.
Well,
she getting money.
Well, this is my thing with that. Like I say, this is how us doing this podcast shit. It's us doing anything with entertainment. I might not agree with what you do. I might not like what you do, because it might not be for me.
Exactly.
Just like Tiffany said, she was like, people say I'm not funny, whatever. She was like, people say I'm not funny, that just means my comedy is not for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. Like, I might not like what you do, whatever, but if you on top, I gotta respect your hustle.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where the respect come from. Like, I don't like shit. I think your content is trash.
Yeah.
But I respect where you at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I respect her because of, like you said, her hustle, the way she's getting out there, and she's done her shit with basically like Kevin Hart, where she's just popping up on everything. Yeah. Like Kevin Hart made a lot of trash movies, but he was everywhere, so you couldn't miss him. And the only difference is I actually like Kevin Hart stand up, and I don't like Tiffany Haddish stand up. Yeah, but other than that,
his shit kind of started dying. Like his beginning.
What now special was trash.
Yeah, I never watched it. Never watched it.
Trash.
But like I say, like his first, like when he's on his stand up, like at Comedy Central.
Yeah,
that shit was funny as hell.
Even his first 3 specials were pretty good. Yeah. Like the Seriously Funny. Yeah. Grown Little Man and Laughing My Pain.
But I think the issue like somebody like him runs into is like, you get so famous now and getting told so many personal situations already. It's like, yeah, let me tell y'all how I ran into the situation when I was riding around with this other millionaire and shit like that. And everybody like, I can't fucking relate to that. Like,
the other thing is, it's kind of like they were having this discussion on one of the rap podcasts I listened to a while back. I don't even think I listen to it anymore. Mm-hmm. But one of the rap podcasts I listened to, like they were having this discussion about how, back in the day, people would spit like freestyles. You go to a radio station, you spit a freestyle or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like, you had to have been listening right then in order to hear it. Yeah. So like, let's say they go to Hot 97, they spit a freestyle, and then they go to Power 105, 2 days later or whatever, they could spit the exact same freestyle because nobody would have heard it before, because they're like, this is a different audience. Yeah. Nowadays, you can't do that because, like, you spit a freestyle on High 97, it's getting uploaded right then. Yeah. And so people have heard it. So when you go somewhere else, you have to have a new one. Mm-hmm. And so, like, what these rappers were saying was that, like, you almost start running out of content because you have to write, when you go on your what else, like, tours. Yeah. where you try like a media tour where you
your press runs.
Yeah, press run. When you go on press runs, you have to have like 10 freestyles on the ready.
Yeah, because they're gonna ask you like, "Hey, let's hear something."
Yeah, let's hear something. And it can't be the same one that just got uploaded, a couple hours ago at this other station.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of the same thing for his comedy thing. Like, you go to like, he's on Jay Leno, and he tells a joke because usually they try bits out when they're on the talk shows. I'm gonna try a bit out in one show, like. You're going to see that again because it's going to be uploaded on YouTube right after. Mm-hmm. You're going to watch a rerun of it. And so I have to have a new joke everywhere I go. Like, I have to make people laugh everywhere I go, and it has to be something new every time. Yeah. So I can understand that that's hard for them, especially like when you get, like I said, to Kevin Hart level, where you're having to go talk to people all the time. People are always expecting you to be funny.
Yeah, like what else are you supposed to talk about?
Yeah, you run out of shit. Like, you run out of material.
Yeah.
All right.
But I also think like this part of the machine, like the Tiffany Haddish, whatever. Like Tiffany Haddish is blessed to be in her position. She says it all the time. She's blessed to be in her position. Yeah. But I think sometimes we blow up faster than we should or we expect. Right. And then like, everybody's like, oh, I love Girls Trip, whatever. But then everybody kind of like, I expect that level or something better next, and you doing the same person, it's kind of like, well, now I don't like this. And now we're seeing you all the time. Now people getting annoyed and shit like that because like people are trying to ride the hot wave. Exactly. And stuff like that. And that puts people in binds and shit like that. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like this shit come back. I hope I do blow up and something like this come back on me. Whatever, that's cool. I'm saying, but I don't really like Hannibal Buress at all. Right. I think he's trash. Yeah, I think he's funny sometimes. His dry humor is kind of funny, but I've never really watched the stand up though. I think he got his break by snitching on Bill Cosby. Yeah, I mean that's where he really got known from. Yeah. I had heard of him before that, but like that's when everybody knew who he was. After that, and let me not say snitch on Bill Cosby because Bill Cosby needs to be told on. Oh yeah, no, yeah. You know what I'm saying, but that's where he is. Yeah, his big break, everybody knew because after that happened, he had got a show on like TBS or whatever, like a sketch show, whatever, kind of thing. He got that right after that. So they like pretty much like, hey, we see you blowing up, we see your name in the streets, whatever. We're gonna give you this and that. Yeah, we'll give you a show. And it didn't work out for him. You know what I'm saying? Because that wasn't your lane and your time to do that. And I was gonna say like the other thing, like with Tiffany Haddish. Yeah. So Tiffany Haddish is like, she's actually pretty old. Like she's been around for a long time. Yeah. And so what ended up happening was she got this big break from Girls Trip, and like you said, like this is the character that people expect, and that one from Girls Trip. So they put her in that character for that. But the other thing is that's probably been her character for all along, and nobody really knew who she was because she's been, like I said, she's been in the industry for a while, but she just hadn't been big. Yeah. And so she's probably perfected the fact that that's her personality and that's who she's sticking with. And so now you get to a point where like, all right, well, we're tired of that personality. Change it. Like, she's like 40 something. Like, she's not going to change her shit. Yeah, like I said, I feel bad for her because at the end of the day, you kind of get typecast too. Right. That's who she is. Because like, we as consumers, we want to see you do something different. Yeah. As people making movies, you be like, hey, yeah, you know what? I want to play a drama role this time. They're like, no, we want the Girls Trip girl. Yeah, and very few people have the opportunity to do that. In fact, I was just thinking about this before, and we can kind of get off this evidence, but I was on Netflix earlier because I was looking for something to watch. Yeah. And there's a new Netflix movie out. Somebody Napoli Ever After? No, I heard that was trash. But I'm not. That's a whole other subject. Oh, okay. I seen somebody on Twitter say like it was like Tyler Perry movie, but worse. Oh, shit. Yeah, they said it was terrible. But anyway, they said like 6 minutes in, it was terrible. Damn. But no, there's a new movie out with like Jonah Hill and Emma Stone. Okay. And Jonah Hill came out, super bad. Yeah. What else was he in? Knocked Up, those kind of movies. Like it was just random, movies like that. And so Jonah Hill is now like an Academy Award nominated actor for like dramatic roles. Yeah. And like this role he's in, first of all, he looks funny as hell because he's small. Really skinny. Yeah, he got small. Yeah, he looks weird. But like very few comedic actors get that kind of a break where you can go, okay, I want to see you in something dramatic, and they actually do well. Besides like him and Jamie Foxx. Just Steve Carell. Steve Carell. Yeah. Like Steve Carell has a new movie coming out. Yeah. And it's like they don't. I can't see that happening for people like Kevin Hart
or Tiffany Haddish, because they're all like real typecast by now. Like people are like, this is what we expect from you, and we don't want you to do anything else.
Yeah, like if you do something different, it has to be kind of like the role of your life kind of thing.
Right.
Because we see you as that. No,
Yeah.
so we don't see you as like a leading man in the dramatic role.
You know what? I'll tell you this, and like I said, I'm gonna get off this, but I'll tell you a good transition that I've seen for comedic actors is when they do comedies that have some dramatic effect in them.
Yeah.
So like Funny People. I watched the movie Funny People with Adam Sandler and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
And so like there's like real dramatic parts, because it's cancer in the movie, like he's dying of cancer. So like the movie's funny and there's jokes all through the movie, but then there are certain parts of the movie that have to be like real dramatic, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, dog, they're doing a really good job of acting in this.
Yeah.
I think those kind of movies are good transitions for people. So if Tiffany Haddish and them can get a movie like that where they get to be serious, because like I seen like previews for the new Tiffany Haddish movie, and I'm like, she's just doing the same.
Talking about the Night School though.
Night School, yeah, no, that's completely her. But the one with I think it's another like Tyler Perry movie or some shit like that.
So you talking about the I know she had a movie with Melissa McCarthy and she kind of playing like the same kind of thing, like called The Kitchen or something.
Oh yeah, that's a different one. No, there's one with
she had a couple things coming out.
Oh, Tika Sumpter.
Okay.
Is in it, and they're supposed to be like sisters, and she goes and picks her sister up from jail, who was of course Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, of course. Or no, they cousin, something like that. And so she's the jail one, blah blah blah, and they trying to go find some man or whatever. And I'm like, they really just sticking to this one role for Tiffany Haddish. They're not letting her get out of this for nothing.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like the consumer, the audience is like, hey, we want to see something different. But the studio is kind of like, no, we need this person. We need this. So we know this person, this character sells.
Yeah, and it's the character that's in the script. Like, and like I said, they're going to pick up my cousin from jail. That's Tiffany Haddish's character. There's nobody else to really pick up.
That's like the dudes that you see in every movie that be like the hood niggas, the gangsters, whatever.
Like Danny Trejo.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Machete is always going to be Machete type dude.
And that's because he has the big tattoo on his chest. Yeah. You got to get that shit removed,
you're going to be like you are typecast in those things. When they think of writing roles like that, they already kind of like, we
need a Tiffany Haddish type right here.
Yeah.
Like,
how about we just call Tiffany Haddish?
Just call Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah. We need somebody that's going to be a little... Because like, even with the clips you see in Night School, whatever, you see them trying to be a little... like dramatic about certain things, like the uprise, getting your GED or overcoming stuff. Like I feel that, but
that's not who she is.
But then that's what I'm saying. I don't. That's probably who she really is, but
you can't. But she can't play that role.
But it doesn't sell. Yeah. Like I said, she might pull the role off well. Same thing for Kevin Hart. But it's not what's selling.
And that's what I'm saying. Like they need a role where they kind of forced to play a different part. Like they can play their regular part, but like incorporate in some other shit, so that you can be like, okay, well I can see them doing something else. Because right now it's like, nah, they just gotta stick in this one role.
Perfect example of that. Like I said, we get off this shit. But what was it? You seen the movie A Silver Linings Playbook? Mm-hmm. Like Chris Tucker's character.
Chris Tucker,
yeah. He was still funny because he came like he's supposed to be in the crazy house, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was more. This is a more dramatic type role and movie, whatever.
Yeah.
So it fits in, whatever. It's like it's different. Just like the movie that's gonna come out with Bradley Cooper, and Lady Gaga. Yeah. And Dave Chappelle's in it.
Dave Chappelle got a serious role in that. You know what? And this is the last one. Yeah. But the you see Atlanta. The dude from Atlanta in one of the Netflix movies, like he has a real serious role, Paperboy.
Yeah.
And he has like a real serious role. And when I first saw it, I was like, "That's Paperboy." I can't see. He couldn't sell me on it. Yeah. But like I kept watching the movie, and I'm like, okay, I see him playing that role. Yeah. And then like I saw him in another movie later, and he played another like serious role. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I can see that's his. He has a lane there too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like you said, it's possible. It's possible.
It's possible for anybody. Like I said, you just got to find that right role, whatever. People got it. Well, I guess it's the studio actually taking a chance on you doing that role.
Right. Letting you step outside because
as consumers or whatever, as the audience, we want to see that. We want to see, like I say, we like seeing the Jamie Foxxes in
what, like Ali and
no, like I said, we like seeing him in Ali and like in Ray and stuff like that. But we enjoyed him in Held Up and all them other movies and stuff like that, like the comic versions and stuff like that. We know him for that type of stuff. But like I said, we like to see that growth of, hey, you doing it Any Given Sunday. and now you're doing Ray, and you doing some other shit.
Yeah, and like I said, Any Given Sunday was a good one for him to transition because he had like the comedic parts of Willie Beeman, and then he had like real serious shit with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, move on to the end. We're finna round this thing out.
Woosah.
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 So the woosah segment for today, we're just gonna talk real quick about boundaries. Big thing about boundaries is, and I kind of get this idea from watching Insecure, really, because boundaries are so fluid on that show.
They had to do Lawrence like that. They were so fucked up on the last episode.
I mean,
it's life, but they didn't do.
You know what?
Like
I'm gonna say this. I think that they did that because of the people complaining. Okay, because like people are always like, "Oh, y'all having all this unprotected sex.
Yeah,
ain't nobody have no condoms, blah blah blah." And a lot of the people that were complaining were the people that like Lawrence.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, so y'all want some consequences? We're gonna put these consequences on Lawrence.
Yeah, and everybody talking about how like everybody was so happy to see Lawrence back and Lawrence high and this and that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got something for y'all.
Yeah, then we gonna deflate y'all to the balloon.
Yeah, we because people tried to go in on Issa on the last episode because of her on the Ferris wheel.
Oh yeah,
like they ain't using no condoms on there. What the fuck, this and that. So you have to throw Lawrence under the bus next episode. It's kind of like,
nah, Issa got to get burned. They can't let Issa not get burned. But anyway, so like boundaries are like they're way too fluid on that show. Yeah. But I mean, the show is a very good depiction of real life. It's really art imitating life. Yeah. Because most people have boundaries that they set in their mind and then they never stick to. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, like at the beginning when Molly with Dro for like the whole last season and the beginning of this season, like she'd say, you know, I'm not gonna fuck with him, you know, we're just gonna keep it at this distance, blah blah blah. But then she kept allowing him to do whatever. Mm-hmm. Or like Issa with Daniel, or Issa with everybody, basically. Like you tell yourself you're gonna do something, and then you allow it to happen anyway. So the big thing about the Woosah segment for today is just make sure that we set boundaries and we actually stick to them. Because I think sticking to them is probably one of the hardest things. And shit, hell, setting them and making them known is probably one of the harder things too. Because I know we had talked about it before, but like one of the things that ends up happening when you actually set your boundary and you let somebody know your boundary is that they're going to tell you tripping. Yeah. So like, let's say, for example, you, I don't know, you say you're not going to buy anything for somebody anymore. Like they'll just say if you have children, you have children, you tell them you always whenever they ask you for something, you buy it. They ask you for something, you buy it, and you're like, you know, you keep telling yourself, I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing this. The first time you actually tell your kid, you know what, no, you're not getting it, they're gonna be shocked. Yeah, because you've been doing it all this time. Why all of a sudden now you want to set a boundary and be like, nah. Or even better, like, so more of our age group, if it's somebody that you fucking with and you realize it ain't going nowhere, but you just keep having sex with them, even though you keep telling yourself, nah, we don't need to have sex no more, or you even one day you tell them, you know, I don't really want to have sex anymore, and they don't really respect that boundary, they keep asking you about it, and as they ask you about it, you kind of give in, because, I mean, I really do like him, and the sex is good, so I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So then, you know, it's that whole, I'm going to test your boundary and see if you're going to let me hit. Yeah. And it's up to you to be like, okay, no, I'm setting this boundary for real. If it's going to be the case that you're going to continue to ask me, then I'm going to have to cut you off. Yeah. And like I said, that's like a whole bunch of people, like I said, different boundaries, like say with kind of like say with the relationship kind of boundaries, you know what I'm saying, with your friends, whatever. If their friend always asks for money, and you always going to be like, hey, man, this is the last time I'm going to give you this and that, whatever. Right. So you got to set that boundary and be like, I ain't going to give you shit. Like, and they gonna be mad. Yeah, they're gonna be mad. They're gonna be pissed when you set the boundary the first time. And the other thing you have to remember is after you set that boundary the first time, you really gotta stick to it. Yeah. Because if you set the boundary the first time and then you stick to it a couple times, and then like 5 months later they ask you for money and you right back to giving them money, you're not being secure in that boundary. And all of a sudden they know that and they're gonna keep taking advantage of it. Yeah, you gotta break the like some people call it the yo-yo effect. Mm-hmm. You know, so like they keep going back and forth with something. Sometimes you just gotta completely step away. Yeah. You know, and like I say, at the end of the day, it might hurt, it might bother you, whatever, that you can't be there for certain people. And that's something that I really have to learn. That you can't be there for people, or you can't do something, whatever. Then it gets easier over time, but you have to
to protect your. We always talk about protecting your energy. Mm-hmm. To protect your energy, whatever, you gotta set certain boundaries.
Yeah, you gotta cut people off when you're ready to cut them off. If you need to, if that's what it comes to. And what we have to remember is that we can't really get mad at somebody for continuously pushing our boundary if we continue to let them push that boundary. So, like, initially, you set a boundary. Let's say it's somebody that you say, we don't need to talk about sex no more, blah, blah, blah. You set that boundary and they test you. And then you stand firm in it, or you don't stand firm in it, whatever, and then they test it again, over and over again. At a certain point, you have to be like, okay, this is my boundary. Mm-hmm. If you're going to continue to test this boundary, then I don't need to associate with you, whether it's family or friends.
Yeah, and like I say, do something. Like I say, if you're setting boundaries, you're doing it. Do it when you're prepared to do it. Right. Don't give lip service to people. Right. So I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, whatever, and you don't do it, and people come at you and be like, "Well, I thought you said you was gonna do this and that." Mm-hmm. Don't even mention that shit. Right. You know what I'm saying, like, if you're gonna set a boundary, let it be something that you really want to do. Right, and you, like you said, you have to really be ready because, it's gonna get tested. Yeah, you gotta really be ready to set that boundary, whatever. And at the end of the day, you the person that gotta live with that. Yep. So, and everything that goes on in your life, and that this goes back to in the conversation we've had before, and we're probably gonna have again. Accountability is what is going to be the biggest thing for you in all of these things. So you have to make sure that you're accountable for the fact that if I'm setting this boundary, this is what I'm sticking to, and if whatever goes on with anybody else has nothing to do with me. Yeah. If I allow them to do it, that's because I'm allowing it. It's not because they're a terrible person, although they may be a terrible person, but them being a terrible person ain't got shit to do with you. If you're allowing them to be a terrible person to you, then that has to do with you. Mm-hmm. It's so much easier to just block people and cut them off than to keep dealing with shit. So, with that said, protect your energy. Ashley not here, so we'll just say it for her. Protect your energy. Yeah, protect your energy, y'all. Protect your energy, y'all. Protect your energy, y'all. But, set your boundaries, stick to them. Anything else before we get out of here, Warren? No, I think that's pretty much it, because, let's say when this come out, I've done the 5K, going to DC next week. See how that shit go. Go holler at Timothy. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go see her working, what she doing, so I can argue in person.
You know what? And that was one of the arguments on there. They were like, if you haven't been, then you can't be in this argument.
Oh, that's bullshit. And stuff like that. You know how hard to get damn tickets and shit?
Yeah. I've been. I know how it takes.
I gotta wake up early in the goddamn morning to try to get a ticket.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, so that's what's up, man. His DC. I like DC the last time I went. What else? Oh, before I get out of here, hey, if y'all get a chance, I gotta check out Toby Lou. He's an artist from Chicago. And I seen the shit on Twitter, like it was a random post on Twitter, and I was like, oh, this is kind of funny. Like the video's kind of funny.
The cartoon video?
Yeah, a little cartoon video. I said, that's cool or whatever. So then I looked him up on Spotify and he kind of jammed. It's Toby Lou. So those are my two new artists that I listen to now. Is that dude Toby Lou from Chicago, and then Toby, I can't say his last name, Wegway. Okay. From Ailey, the dude that be all over Facebook with them videos and shit. But yeah, so those are my two new artists for y'all.
I'm gonna say on the Ratchet side, I'll be jamming that Shaq West.
Hey, that Mo Bamba. Oh shit, Mo Bamba gotta go. It grew on me. It grew on me. I will say that, dog. But anyway, man, we better get up out of here, dog.
Is it for you?
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Well, as always, we hope you laughed a little, learned a lot. And we hope we have helped you find the remedy to whatever's troubling you. This is What's the Remedy Podcast.
All right, y'all. When mama said you better be home. When them street lights on. And when them street lights on. And when them street lights on. They ain't doing nothing but wrong. When them street lights on. And when the street lights on. Cause when them street lights on.